Hello everyone and welcome back to the SteemTrail Gaming News. Today is the 25th of March 2018. My name is Kralizec and I will be your host for the evening. So let's begin with an apology. I know there is supposed to be the weekly podcast today, but sadly Tyler couldn't make it, so we had to switch up the dates. I'm not exactly sure when today's week's podcast will be held, but you can rest assured it will come. Instead, we have the normal daily news, and we got 3 stories for you guys. First, there was a statement from CD Projekt Red that there will be no Witcher 4. Ever. Most likely. Probably. Then we're going to take a look at a new Overwatch feature that allows you to not play with certain players, and last of all, we're going to talk about a Fortnite player who is such a pro that he can win even while getting swatted. But, as you might guess, we will begin with Witcher 4. So, Witcher 4 is a game many people, including me, would love to see. But one of the developers for the CD Projekt Red said, more specifically it was Adam Kaczynski, we can't create Witcher 4 because that was a trilogy from the beginning. No one said that one day we won't decide to develop something in the Witcher universe, but now we're focusing on Cyberpunk and Gwent. So that's pretty much the answer. There will not be another Witcher game, at least for the time being. And if I might guess, either way, it's not going to have Geralt. Just because the story is actually concluded for him. And if you actually got a good ending, it concluded in a good way. And I assume that is the canon way that they're taking. And if you don't know, Witcher 3 isn't a universe they have created. It's a universe created by Andrzej Sapkowski, who is a Polish fantasy writer. By the way, if you love Witcher games, you should really read the Witcher novels. They're awesome. They totally fit the games actually do fit the themes the books are trying to present. Great books, highly recommended. So right now, obviously CD Projekt Red is focusing on their Cyberpunk game. I'm hoping it's going to be great. I'm hoping it's going to be a great success for them financially. And honestly, I don't even think I would like to see another Witcher game with Geralt as its main character. Yes, it allowed for something completely unique in open world RPGs these days. It's been a pretty long time since we got a AAA title where you play as a set character, where you don't have the options to be something else than you are. I think the closest thing to that was actually Gothic, the Gothic series, with the fact that you were somebody, you were a person that had its history, that had its lore built into the character. You could still build your character in different ways, and you could do that in Witcher as well, but you were still limited by the story arc in what you could actually be. So I think if there, and I'm going to assume that one day there will be another Witcher game, I think it will be set a lot into the past. Now, I'm sorry about that. It will be set like maybe 200, 400, 500 years before the events of any of the Witcher games. And you will actually get to create your own Witcher at their might at the top of Kaer Morhen. And you will be able to choose what race do you want to be, what skills do you want to have, whether you want to be more magical or melee focused. You will still be a Witcher, but you will have more freedom. That's my assumption what's going to happen with the Witcher IP in general. And honestly, I'm very much looking forward to that. But good luck to CD Projekt Red with their upcoming games and their current title Gwent. And I wish you make many more great games. Okay, let's move on to Overwatch, as it has a new feature that is called Void a Teammate. And it should be implemented pretty soon, pretty much as the Season 10 will be starting. And Jeff Kaplan, the game director, said to this feature that the feature is put in place to help players craft a better gameplay experience by avoiding other players that may cause them frustration for one reason or another. That's an interesting feature, and I think many people will be very glad that it is in the game, especially if you meet some griefer, somebody who's just being toxic. You can just say, I don't want to play with that person ever again. And that will severely limit their teammate possibilities, increasing their queue times, maybe even getting them to either help instead of being a jerk, or maybe just to quit the game and find something else, or just to buy a new account and start with a clean slate by being a nice person. Well, obviously, I think there could be a feature that would like allow you to get a clean slate somehow in game. I think a good way would be to, like, with every season there is a reset, maybe once a year or something like that. And if you don't behave two times in a row, you are banned from uplifting your reputation for another cycle. So instead of one cycle, you would get 2 cycles. And then your reputation gets again uplifted. Hopefully you're learned by then, etc., etc. until you either quit or get better. Because yes, toxicity and saltiness and being jerkish is a real problem in online games, whether you like it or not. I don't think the way to ban these people is the way to go, but limiting their pool of players they will be willing to play with to other toxic players is the way to go, in my personal opinion. Okay, and our last piece of news is about a Fortnite player who managed to get a win in its Battle Royale mode while being swatted. So, quick rotation, swatting is a stupid ass prank that you should never do because it is dangerous and etc, etc. You know the drill. I've talked about this many times already. But a Fortnite player who is known as Ninja, he's a previous Halo Pro player, decided that he will not be faced by getting swatted, as it was actually the 3rd time he has been swatted. That's an insane number. At this point, the police should just have his house as, yeah, we should just go in, like, send a guy instead of a team of policemen. So more specifically what happened, there was a stream, obviously, and just, you know, suddenly there was like a knock on his door. So he went, opened up, and he came back before going to claim his victory. And I'm very glad this is the 2nd instance we're talking about something similar where pro players don't freak out where they're being swatted. It teaches those less fortunate players, those who aren't fortunate enough to have thousands and hundreds of thousands of subscribers, that being swatted can be handled without a freak out. And I think that is the most important thing, because freaking out is the thing that will likely get you hurt. And I'm not saying it's your fault for getting hurt, obviously it isn't, but, you know, freaking out and panicking and yelling, etc. won't certainly help. If you just calmly open the door, say, "How can I help you, officer?" then you have a much higher chance of actually nothing happening to you. And in the end, I think that is what we all want, for these pranks to just die off, because nobody is getting hurt by them anymore and nobody is freaking over them anymore. And that is the only solution for this prank that is ever going to be actually successful. And with that being said, that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, please consider giving us a like here on YouTube and subscribing to the channel. If you are watching on Steam, maybe you want to give us an upvote and follow the blog. Either way, be sure to leave a comment, as, you know, comments are always nice. And be sure to tune in tomorrow for more gaming news, as we're a daily source of everyday gaming news for the rest of your life. See you guys later with more gaming content.